Hi, I'm George Johnson from Cody, Nebraska. I'm the owner of George Paul Vinegar. And how we got started was I had a hobby basically of growing fruits and grapes, and we got to the point where we had enough of them that we were making more wine than we could drink and that we could give away, and so we decided that we needed to probably figure out some way to market some of the products we were making. And a friend of the family suggested that we make some vinegars, and so we started tinkering with that and experimenting, and ended up making some really good quality vinegars. And so we started looking at the idea of actually marketing those vinegars, and went to the University of Nebraska at their food processing center and gave them our idea and what we had done so far, and they thought it was a really good idea, and so they assisted us in doing a feasibility study, which we spent about a year doing. And their conclusion was that that we had a very high likelihood of success because of the niche product. And so we started scaling it up and ended up building our processing facility in 2007. And we actually started this project in about 2004, and it was when we scaled it up from the countertop volumes from bowls and beakers and small quantities, and we started scaling it up to where we were making large stainless steel tanks of 50 and 100 gallons, then things didn't work quite as the same. And so it took us another 2 years actually to figure that all out, and we actually bottled our first vinegars in 2009. So it was actually about 5 years from startup until we had vinegar in the bottles. And along the way, we were developing marketing plans and ideas, and there again, the University of Nebraska Food Processing Center helped us with some of that. And we've continued to scale up our business, and because it's the products have met with really good reception, and so we're continuing that process. We've scaled up about 400% last year's harvest, and we'll probably do about the same amount again this year. Online marketing is the majority of our business, and we really couldn't sell a product like ours that's so unique without online marketing, because we're in a very rural area. We're 350 miles from any sizable metropolitan area, and so our website and our online website shop is really important to the business. And we get exposure in different areas, but people couldn't access the vinegar unless they could do it online. And so it's the online marketing, the website shop is extremely important for our business. The majority of our sales come from online. Well, everything that we put out with regard to the product, of course, has our website address on it. And we've been fortunate to have a number of news articles written about us in several different medias, and it's really important that you get your website address in those articles, because even though it's print media, that gets very wide exposure, and then people can go to the website and learn more about our business and our products and order on the same website. And our products are so unique that not only in the sense of them being the only vinegars made out of the cold hardy hybrid grapes that are grown in the northern latitudes, but also as far as we know, we're the only vinegar maker outside of California in the United States that's making vinegars in the traditional old world way. And so the uniqueness of the product is really important to generate the media articles, and then those lead to people coming to our website and purchasing the vinegar, because it's not available in a very wide area in Nebraska. We don't have too many retailers that sell our vinegars, but we do have customers from all over the United States, and some of them are multiple repeat customers. And we also do get a lot of exposure in the upscale restaurants, primarily in the Nebraska metropolitan areas of Omaha and Lincoln, but we also have some restaurants in Denver and Chicago and Kansas City that use the product, and they also tell their customers about the vinegars, and we get exposure there, and they in turn can come to the website because we're not really available in those other markets in stores. Well, we did build our website ourselves, and I'm not included in ourselves, but I have a daughter and a son. They're very tech savvy, and so they essentially built the website and maintain it, and that's worked well for us for the most part. I would say that if a business, small business, startup business, entrepreneur was contemplating building a website, that my experience has been that sometimes you might have a relative that wants to do this or is just getting started doing this. That's one end of the spectrum. There's another end of the spectrum where you could probably spend tens of thousands of dollars to have a really elaborate website built, and I would suggest that they find a medium there, because usually, oftentimes, someone that's experienced and does it for a business will do it better and faster and accomplish exactly what you want accomplished on your website, and then can maintain it on a regular basis as well, because it does take maintenance. And since that's your primary marketing tool, it really needs to be done right. Our entire marketing plan has been built around online marketing, because our product is unique, and in several ways, but it's also high priced. We never intended to compete on price with our products. We compete on quality and uniqueness of the products, and so the online marketing is central to our entire business. Well, that's a challenge. It's a challenge to market a product like ours online, because what really sells it is tasting it. A lot of people, when they taste the vinegars, say this doesn't taste like vinegar, because you can taste the fruit, you can smell the fruit, and it's milder. It just doesn't taste like vinegar usually tastes like, that you buy off the shelf in the grocery store. And so it's a big challenge to educate people regarding the quality of our product and the value that the product has compared to the price, because of the unique flavors that are in the vinegars. And so we try the best we can to explain that about each product, and we try to tell a story on our website about our family and about the fruits that we use and how they're grown, and the unique flavor profiles, and how we make the vinegars individually by variety, and so that we can pique their interest enough that they will at least try one, if in fact they haven't been to a tasting or a restaurant or somewhere where they've been able to experience the vinegars.
And so what happens when they finally taste it?
Well, it's over. I mean, once anyone tastes our vinegars, they buy them. I've done tastings all over the state of Nebraska and many different venues, and if we can get people to taste them, they buy them. It's that simple. It's over. That's the true test for a food product, in my opinion, is if you can get people to taste it and they taste it and they buy it, they don't walk on. They're really impressed with the flavor and the aroma. And that's it. They continue to buy them after that. The first marketing trip that I took was to visit with chefs in the upscale restaurants in the Omaha metropolitan area. And it was in the spring or winter of 2010. And like I said, we had just started bottling our vinegars in the fall of 2009. So just a few months later, I took some samples of our vinegars, and I had previously cut an article out of the Omaha World Herald that ranked all of the restaurants in Omaha for the year of 2009. And so I just drove to Omaha and started knocking on doors. And I went to the #1 restaurant first and just started working my way down. And every chef that I visited with was just absolutely blown away by the vinegars. They all told me they had never tasted anything like it, and they all bought them and continued to buy them. And actually gave me referrals then. I mean, many of the chefs were so excited about it that they actually got on the phone while we were talking and were calling other chefs in the Omaha area that they were friends with and telling them about it. And that one trip has led to dozens of upscale restaurants, the very top restaurants in those areas that exclusively use our vinegars. And so it's true that with the chefs, the people with the real culinary palates, when they taste our vinegars, every chef I've ever met with has bought the vinegars and continue to. One of the better online marketing tools that we've utilized is that when we are on back order of certain products, because in our business where we are scaling the business up constantly and trying to build our volumes, that means that because of the nature of the business, we have to hold more vinegar back to start it with the next vintage of wine. And so at times we get to the point where we can't sell any more of a particular vinegar, and so it's on back order or it's out of stock or what have you. So we implemented a waiting list for the popular vinegars online. So if it's out of stock or on back order, you can go to our member page and send an email in that you want to be put on the waiting list for the raspberry or the Amelia aged American balsamic, and then those are all sorted into a separate file so that when that product becomes available again, they're the first people to get notification. And invariably we get nearly 100% sales from those people, because it's somewhat of it's a personalized thing individually, because that oftentimes you don't find that on company websites, but but the people have responded very well to that. So I would say that was probably one of our most successful online initiatives, was to initiate that waiting list. And then I actually try to send personal little note emails to those people when the product is available, or on a follow-up. You know, I do a lot of that with online customers, and I think that's important. It means a lot to the customers when George of George Paul Vinegar sends them a personal email, even if it's just one line, acknowledging their business and asking them how they enjoyed the vinegar, or such as that. So with regard to probably our biggest flop, or something that didn't work, it actually has been print advertising. We have advertised in some very nice, slick magazines that go to a fairly select audience that I know are the type of people that buy our vinegars. And to our knowledge, we have only been able to document one sale, and have spent hundreds of dollars on some of those programs. And so we don't do any print advertising anymore. It's either online or in person. Well, we have adjusted our website as we've gone along, in our shop on our website, and we've adjusted our story a little bit. And my daughter takes care of most of that, and she has a real good sense of keeping things fresh and interesting. And so she'll maybe change the pictures up and put some really nice food pictures on the website, and inject a little bit of news occasionally, and then occasionally she'll readjust the website a little bit so that it has a fresh, dynamic look to it. and she's always working, asking questions of me and other people as well to make the the shopping experience as simple as possible and as clear, so that you don't have to click through a lot of frames to get to where you want to go, and it isn't complicated to buy the product. We've tried to continue to simplify things in that regard as we have gone along. With regard to things we'd like to do in the future, currently we only accept PayPal on our shop. If they're going to use a Visa or MasterCard, they have to call the number in, and we're going to change that. We're going to add the full flanks of credit cards to our website. Regarding social media tools, we do have a Facebook page, and I would say that I can't quantify whether it has led to sales or not, but we do have a lot of friends and people that have visited our Facebook page. But as a one-man show, it's difficult sometimes to get that updated as often as it needs to get updated, and to keep it fresh and informative. And so that may be more our fault. I mean, it is more our fault than the social media site generating buzz, if you will, or interest in sales. But at this point, I can't really quantify that the Facebook page has generated sales for us, and we don't utilize Twitter or YouTube. But we should probably use YouTube. But there again, it's just a matter of getting it done. I mean, I think if we had some little short video clips on YouTube about some of the things that we do in our processing facility, that it would be very interesting to people, because there's some real unique processes that go on here. So it's something that we need to do, but it's just a matter of finding the time to get them done. We probably don't accurately measure return on investment with regard to our marketing efforts, because we really have, other than the one print campaign we did in print media for advertising, our marketing campaign essentially has been word of mouth, and whenever we can get our website named in a media article, a print article. And so we really have made very little investment in our online marketing, and other than our initial website design, and then of course the hosting, which is, the way we do it is very minimal. The cost is. Well, with regard to how the website was created and how we started our online marketing, and if we were able to do that over again, I'm not sure that we would, that I know at this point what changes we would have made, because it has worked pretty well for us. But some of that is due to the uniqueness of the product. If we were selling a Me Too product, we would have to do some things differently, but because of the uniqueness of the product, I think our online marketing plan that we've instituted has probably been as successful as we could have expected anything to be, with the minimal amount of investment. Well, having started several businesses over the last 40 years, some of them obviously before there was an internet, or there were websites, and all the way through to the point where we are now, where the majority of the marketing is taking place online. My advice to beginning entrepreneurs, or people that have a business that is somewhat established, that they're wanting to put together a marketing campaign, my first piece of advice would be to find a similar company that, whether it be a rural company or a unique product company, or in the same field or not, but find someone that is successfully doing what you want to do, and then just go to them and tell them that you think that they're one of the most successful marketers or entrepreneurs, and ask for their help. And likely they will tell you how they did it, and they will give you free advice. I've done that a number of times in different fields over the last 40 years, and I've never been turned down. If you go to someone and tell them that you respect their success and admire what they've done and ask for their help, they'll do whatever they can to help you, even if you're in a competing field. I have found that to be true as well. So that would be my first piece of advice. And with regard to a business in general, then that's a whole different subject if you're going to start your own business, because there are going to be a lot of challenges along the way. You make sure that you're funded adequately, and make sure that your spouse is fully on board, and that, because it will be a team effort whether you think it is or not when you start out, and the likelihood of success will be much higher. When in the beginning, when we after we had done our initial informal market surveys with regard to selling vinegar, and decided that there probably was a good market for a unique gourmet vinegar, and we took the idea to the food processing center, and I actually went to an extension specialist that worked there, that was their fruit specialist, Gerward Smith, and who has since retired, and he talked through the idea with me, and then sent me directly to their marketing people, basically, and that's where I started with to see whether or not we had a viable idea or business. And then that, as I mentioned previously, with regard to the feasibility study that they helped us do, that took about a year, and we utilized accountants and legal advice and consultants, and it was the most complete feasibility study for a business that I had ever done. And having started several, we spent more on that than I actually used to start a business or two in the past. But it was very useful, because the food processing center, that's what they do, is they take countertop food ideas and help people scale those up to commercial businesses. And so they were integral in helping us to get started, and then continued to solve some vexing problems that we came across along the way as well. And and to go back to the idea of asking other people for help, there were some individuals, one in particular, that a really good winemaker here in Nebraska, that has a vineyard, a winery in Pierce, Nebraska, Ed Swanson from Cut Hills Vineyards, and he was able to actually help us solve a lot of the really difficult questions that we were running into with regard to chemistry and fermentation, and the different processes that were taking place that we didn't really understand at the time, that enabled us to scale up production. And again, that was just as a friend helping another friend solve problems in their similar businesses. So there is a lot of help there. And one other thing that I would tell people with regard to starting your online marketing tools, that there are funds available from different agencies to help startup companies or small companies develop their online presence, whether it be website design or and maintenance and those types of things. There's grant funds available from different agencies, and it's really important to check those things out, because it can be very helpful in offsetting some of those startup costs.